Hi, welcome to Rock the Roundtable. I'm your host, Orlando Soria, and with me here at this table, I have Mina Starsiak-Hawk, Leanne Ford, Alison Victoria, and Jasmine Raw. Ladies, today we're gonna talk about drama. Actually, I forgot what we're talking about. Each of you have, in your own way, achieved boss status. Defying social expectations is kind of your mode of operation. So that's what we're gonna talk about today, being a boss.
Can I say thank you for not saying boss lady?
Yeah, don't say that.
Tell me what you don't like about the term boss lady, actually.
I think that when you start differentiating any boss from lady or man, it's like, why are we talking about it?
Yeah, you're doing yourself a disservice.
We're bosses. We get it all the time. Like, what's it like being in a man's world in construction? It's like, what? I've never.
I don't feel that way.
Ever
Like my head's in the
thought about
sand,
it.
just doing
So
the
like
work.
when I was just starting as a designer in the field, walking around in heels and loving every minute of it, like it's not about being a woman or being a man. It's just about doing what you love and then ultimately becoming the boss of your brand and your business.
But at the same time, I don't think I saw anybody like a woman in construction when I was growing up. I mean,
You know, we're lucky for this not to be an issue for us. Think about that. Like, I never felt that was a problem in any form. My gender was irrelevant to what I was doing for a living.
There's a lot of responsibility for younger generation, which I never thought kids would watch that much HGTV, honestly, and they do.
Oh, they do.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
Oh,
Some of
yeah.
our fans, they have the episode numbers memorized, and I don't even know that stuff.
But you know, I think in any industry, you need men and women. Sometimes the men are designing and the women are doing construction. And you know, the thing with being a boss or going onto a construction set and being the boss is how you present yourself, right? You don't go on to this do you mind if we...
Well, that's the only thing about the whole difference of the sexes that does irk me is a lot of times dealing with other male contractors, they don't take me seriously. And if I'm like, no, this is what I need done.
Yeah.
I need you to do it now because I pay you to do this now. They're like, oh, she's a bitch. I'm like, no, I'm your boss. That's the only part I don't like. Like, if you're a girl, it's bitchy. If you're a guy, you're direct.
Do you think that it helps that you sometimes are actually doing physical work
Yes.
that they can see?
I think 100%, and they're like, you do this? And I was like, yes, I do. I do this. Yeah. And so you get a little bit more street cred once they know that you actually are in the thick of it doing the work.
So I have a question for you in particular, actually. Have you ever struggled with being taken seriously as a designer?
You mean with contractors and such?
With contractors, even with clients, with anybody?
Oh, well, if the client feels that way, they certainly shouldn't hire me in the first place, right? But with contractors, it goes back to don't read the comments. Just stay true to your path, stay on your course, and what anyone's thinking or talking behind you is so irrelevant.
Would you all say that you see yourself as pretty self-confident women?
yeah. I had to grow into mine. Even though I was always really confident, there were definitely times when I doubted myself or was, questioning, am I doing the right thing? Am I, and every single day still, I have to fight for my confidence.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's oh, okay, why am I sitting at this round table? Oh, okay, well, I guess I can hang, yeah. But at the same time, I think that's a good thing, to just kind of work.
Oh,
Just
being
keep your head
humble
down and
is
work.
very different.
I agree.
Yeah, being humble versus confident.
Yeah.
So different. You could be both and it works.
All right, done.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's easier said than done.
Yeah, it's so much easier said than done because we're all obviously here because we have super strong capabilities and all these various things. But also I'm like, God, her hair looks so good right now. I wish mine looked those things are just hard to not.
To which I say, your hair looks awesome.
I know.
Whose hair were you talking about?
I was talking about your hair.
Your hair, always. It's always your hair.
When you're around such awesome people, I think it's just a natural thing.
The other thing is the fear of failure thing, which is such a big point for me. Einstein said the fear of failure kills creativity. Mm-hmm. And I think about that all the time because once you can kind of train yourself not to be afraid to mess up, the whole world becomes possible?
I think the biggest place that it's still a problem for me is that as my company has grown, like it was family-based to begin with, and now they're all relying on me not to screw up. So that's a whole nother level of like the fear of failure. And if I pick the wrong direction, like no one has jobs,
But you
maybe.
can't
and that's
put,
terrifying.
But you can't put that weight on your shoulders. I feel like
But
They
it
chose
is-
to work
it is-
with you.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
but it's still there.
Okay, so Jasmine,
Yes.
you basically built your own company from the ground up in an industry traditionally considered like a man's world.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm definitely on the construction site a lot. And the first day I ever went on a construction site, I learned real quick that it was a man's world. I was definitely out of place. I have to set the bar, is what it comes down to. Because construction sites with a bunch of dudes, it's a mess. It really is. And my construction sites aren't like that, at least when I'm there. I don't let that happen.
Most of the trades are guys. So getting a handful of guys that are willing to be bossed around by a female GC probably isn't as likely right now.
Well, there is a muscle aspect to, like my brother and I work together, and my brother is stronger, and I hate doing demo. I like designing a house. That's just who I am as a
Wait, you hate
human.
doing demo?
I hate it. I'm terrified of being hit in the face with Steve's sledgehammer. You know what I mean? Like
He is a little
all
wild.
over the, yeah, he's pretty wild. He like has no idea I'm in the room, you know what I mean?
Not a lot of
Wait.
spatial awareness.
No,
with
not.
that one.
So, but like he is he has more muscle than I do. Hardly, really, but no. Physically, we are different
Yeah.
entities, male and female.
I think it starts
Mina,
in
I feel like
school.
you like doing demo, right?
I love doing
And
demo.
what about you two?
I
feel like
did
it's fun.
demo for almost 9 years.
Yeah.
So I did the math after I slipped 2 discs. I had what they call radiculopathy. My left arm went completely
Did you say
paralyzed. He
radiculopathy?
said, that's me. I go, you're making that word up. And I had to go through a year of physical therapy. And I was like, what's the point now?
Yeah.
I sleep in wrist braces because
Right.
I have carpal
But-
tunnel.
but it's for everybody, whatever
for
floats
me,
your
it's not
boat, yeah.
aggression. It's the my sister-in-law who works for explained to me the different like types of leadership, and I think it's called like servant leader, like being in the trenches, especially if it's like the middle of the summer or the freezing winter in Indiana. Okay, I'm here next to you guys.
Yeah.
Like even when I was uber pregnant, I'm here next to you guys. I'm not asking you to do something I wouldn't do. Oh, they have so much fun breaking stuff. Woo! I love it. Oh, what? You already have a whole piece. Ah!
I feel like this is good exfoliation. I feel like I'm rubbing off a lot of dead skin along with the gritty, dirty, whatever.
But I mean, in general though, like, how do you get into any of the trades, right? Like, I don't think people are approaching 14, 15, 16-year-old girls and saying, hey, do you want to be a tile setter this summer?
Right.
So I think that is something that is changing, hopefully, a bit, especially with like people seeing us doing manual labor. So that's part of the reason I do the manual labor. I love it, well, first of all. It's great exercise. I don't have to pay for a trainer.
You guys are changing a generation of girls.
I hope so. I mean, honestly, I do hope that somebody
Boys,
is watching
too.
it.
Yeah.
And
Right.
boys, anybody,
Because they're
yeah.
gonna
Yeah,
see
don't
it
forget
and not
about the boys.
assume
I don't.
that like, they're not gonna assume like, oh, you're not doing this because you're a girl. They're not gonna assume like, oh, girls, everyone just does everything.
Yeah, you're right.
So, it's weird that I'm leading the discussion as a man about defying social expectations and gender. So I'm wondering if there's any way that you think this topic should be talked about or anything that you want to bring up to sort of wrap it up.
This industry is definitely not for the faint of heart. No. It's so stressful. It really is a tough gig.
I'm terrified.
I know.
I didn't get into this business thinking that I was going to be an influencer or a role model. What I love now and especially with the network, I've been with the network now 10 years, and powerhouse women in this network
Yeah.
that believe in us, that trust us, and that want to lift us up.
And it's so darn fun.
Yeah,
So fun.
Cool.
You're so smiley.
I know.
Well, you guys making me happy to hear your thoughts on all this stuff. So thanks for chatting with me about it. It's
We
always
love it.
great to get a new perspective. For more Rock the Roundtable, head on over to HGTV.com.